What's up, everybody? It's Jeffrey Lyles welcoming you to another edition of Lyles Figure Files. And really excited about today's show. Lots of stuff pertaining to one of my all-time favorite licenses, GI Joe, specifically GI Joe Classified series. Seeing some teases coming up about the potential 2023 HasLab. Very hyped up about that, and so much more. We're seeing more of the Super 7 Ultimates GI Joe wave. That's exciting, and a lot of stuff that I'm hoping to break down here, including Hot Toys Guardians of the Galaxy, Rocket, and Cosmo that just got dropped today, the Storm Collectibles Mortal Kombat Shiva, so much more stuff. But let's go into it. Let's see who all is here. What's up, everybody? Give me a shout out if you're here in the comments, and let's know what you're going on with over on your side of the world. What's up, Blake? My man, how you doing? Yo, 0000. What's going on out there with you? All right, so while we get started here, let's kick off a little recap of what we've already seen so far this week with this set, this amazing looking Guardians of the Galaxy themed pack with Drax the Destroyer and all of his classic glory and Moondragon. I know some of you all were hoping for that classic thong, basically, outfit of Moondragons, but I weren't thinking after the Goblin Queen fiasco we were actually going to get her in that look, because it was just, Hasbro wasn't going to go that route. But I think what we did get is pretty cool. We got this look here with the cape. Drax looks amazing. I really think they knocked him out so well. It looks great. This close-up here shows just how much detail they put into him. Like I said before, I love the shading around his eyes, the clasp around his cape, cloak, right down to his Masters of the Universe copped belt. They really knocked him out. Again, I wish they had done a little bit better removing these discs, those pins that we see still plaguing some figures, but it was great. In Moondragon, I keep seeing this head sculpt, and I feel like they designed her off of a famous actress or somebody that's seen a lot of stuff, and I cannot place who it is. It's driving me crazy because it just feels like they did this likeness based off of somebody, and I really think it's a great head sculpt. Zero, you just picked up the Mayfax Spider-Man. Really good. Which one is that? The Toby, the Tom? Which one's out in the rotation right now? John, what's going on with you out there? Devin, the Drax does look great. Drax wasn't necessarily one of my top 10, top 20 figures I wanted to see, but knocking him out that way, I'm really excited. And I feel like there's still hundreds of characters for Hasbro to do. And I feel like that's why over the last 2 years, so many of us were complaining, because it was like we knew Hasbro could do better. And if they continue going on this path that they've been on so far for 2023, I may be willing to give them a pandemic mulligan and going, okay, guys, maybe that was the only thing that was going on, and you guys figured out, got back on track, and welcome back to cranking out great, amazing comic book based figures. Omega 579, what's happening with you? All right, Blake, what you got here? Something the Hasbro tease said something about a cover up. So I was thinking of Wolverine. Yes, I cannot wait to break down this whole HasLab, GI Joe theories, because so much is out there and it's really fun. I want to discuss it with you all. And I really am hoping we see a Wolverine soon. Stupid great t-shirt won't cooperate, but it's fine. What's up, 80s kid from the 90s? We just got started, my man. You're never late for this party. It's the comic classic. Yes, sir. So yeah, we got some really cool stuff shown lately. And I feel like Hasbro is really stepping up as of late, because I feel like with the Marvel Legends, they're really cranking out stuff. We always know GI Joe Classified series, get some new figures. I'm excited. I'm hyped up. And I feel like since we're seeing these prototypes, we're starting to see pictures now of the Classified series, Torpedo and Copperhead. That's pretty exciting, because what we're seeing on those guys is like, okay, maybe that Cover Girl and Falcon and Outback redo were just some blips in the road, because it really seems like they're back on track. The figures are looking good once again, and there's a lot of reason to be excited. If I can show you these pictures without going through a massive assault of ads, let's see if I can do it. But for now, let me go break this one down because I was really curious. These pictures are coming from our guys over at Toy News International. It's the Captain Atom from McFarlane Toys. And I was really excited about this because you guys know I'm a big JLI fan. So we got him, but it looks like he is going to be on that Blue Beetle Booster Gold mold, which is going to make him a little bit smaller than I would have liked. I would love to have seen him be thicker, maybe using that Hush body that we've seen that they like to use so much. But he's got those same boot cuffs. So he's going to be a little small, a little slender there compared to what I would love to see him looking like. So he's got the same Blue Beetle boots. That was a tongue twister. He's got the power effects. He looks cool. I'd love to see what he looks like around some other figures though, because I'm really curious to see how he turns out. Let's see what you guys are talking about here in the chat. Jody, what's up? Yes, I'm here at 8:05 every Thursday, even if I'm not hyping it up for hours on end. 8:05 Thursday, just like our TBS for all you old wrestling heads, I will be here. I feel like it might be the no cap. Lawson, I'm with you. I'm hoping that will be the case. I'd love to see a Melter. Yes, Melter would be great. Great head sculpt on Moondragon with the raised eyebrow. I think they could have done her green one piece, no thong, make it a respectable bathing suit, but green. I wonder, because I feel like that outfit isn't so risque compared to some other costumes. I mean, is it really that far off from the Psylocke attire? I mean, I don't think so, but it really doesn't seem like they're interested at all in doing that look. And I just kind of wish they weren't so opposed to it because I think it's a really cool outfit. And it would be really fun to see it in full color, full outfit attire and all that good stuff. But yeah, right now, not coming up too good for that. Snowcat makes sense. Devin, hope I'm saying your name right, Devin. The new Target exclusive Guardians Yondo is comic accurate. Yeah, so we've gotten him. We got Vance Astro. We're kind of figuring which one do we want next. Do we want Martin next? Do we want Charlie? Do we want Nikki? There's so many cool figures. Do we want Starhawk, Alita? I'm really trying to figure out which one they're going to go with. I am a little bit worried because as we saw with the four Thor movies, they didn't actually manage to get us the Warriors 3, Ball to the Brave, which should have been easy layups. And then we could have gotten another Executioner. So maybe they've got another round of Guardian figures for the time when Guardians Volume 3 comes to home video. Speaking of Guardians Volume 3, so they're showing off all this cool stuff. And the coolest thing that I was just so excited about seeing today on my feed was the Hot Toys Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 Rocket, Raccoon, and Cosmo. I really love those team looks from the DNA look, and it's really cool to actually see this in figure form. I still want to get the Avengers in-game Rocket, but I may have to skip that and get this one just because I love these costumes so much. You know, I love team looks, and I really thought this was great. So we got him with Star-Lord. We've gotten a tease on, but we haven't actually seen the full figure. I am really hoping that I can place the helmet on him so I can get that almost comic book look for him. But I mean, these guns look great. The detail on his outfit, he's got that same head sculpt. So I kind of wish Hot Toys would come up with a new one, but the detailing on those guns looks amazing. Really good job with that. And Cosmo, the really, really good dog. The really good detail on here as well. I mean, look at the antenna on the collar, the speaker. I mean, it just looks great. I don't know how many of you guys are dog heads out there, but this captures the optimistic, cheery dog look, and I just really love how it turned out. So that's the full collage look. Cosmo and Rocket are actually in scale with each other as opposed to the gigantic size Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure version, but yeah, I'm really excited about this set. I'm really happy that we got those two. So we got Groot, we got Rocket, and I assume we're going to get the legendary Star-Lord coming up real soon. Jody, I'm so yoked about what's going on with the Joe. It seems like we're getting over hiccup and back on track. Yeah, I kind of feel like that. That is definitely seeming more and more like, okay, we got that. John, how's it going? So glad to catch you live. You've quickly become my favorite YouTube channel. Thank you so much. I love interacting with all you guys and talking about comic books and figures and all that good stuff because my wife has no interest whatsoever in hearing it. So I'm glad to have people to talk to about my excitement with all these cool figures. That figure looks cosmic. Yes. Hasbro is leaving a lot of money on the table by not doing battle damage versions of figures. I mean, talking Marvel Legends, how great would battle damage Iron Man figures be? We should definitely have at this point well, I guess they've done a damaged Iron Man with the in-game version. So we have that one, but for sure we need a Spider-Man half mask rip the whole deal. I mean, he would be an obvious choice for battle damage. Maybe Captain America with the tarnished shield or holes in it. But who in the world would want a hole in their Captain America shield? Jody, Captain Atom was always one of my faves. Did you read Justice League Europe? Because I really loved when he came onto JLI, and then I was like, no, you're not taking Captain Atom and Dimitri, Rocket Red, and putting them into this spinoff title. But I ended up loving that just as much. And it was really cool seeing them being the two old heads from JLI on that team. 0000. Captain Atom is a figure I'm going to get. Yeah, I'm really curious. What JLI, JLE figure would you guys want to see next? For me, I want to see Guy, but I would love to see what McFarlane Toys would do with Rocket Red. And I don't need them to do some reimagined version. I want them to either do the standard Rocket Red or the Apocalypse. I knew I was going to mess it up. The Apocalypse armor that he wore after they traveled and encountered Darkseid, which is crazy and wild. Jay, I think the HasLab is going to be the Dragonfly. In the leaked message from last week, it was 12 X's, and the only thing that fits is Dragonfly XX1. I feel like there's some real good candidates for that, and I'm really hoping it's that, the Snowcat, Pipe Dream, the Whale. We'll see. Hasbro just doesn't want to show any bare legs on female figures. Oh, that can't be true. I've got there's a few. We've got Elektra, we've got Gamora, right? She was wearing bare legs, if I'm remembering that correctly. Let's see here. The original Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic book version, I thought had bare legs. Now you've got me curious. There you go. She's not bare legs. That's her. So I guess that's about as close as we can get. I think that's going to pose some real problems for Namorita because we won't get her whatsoever if that's the case, if that's the edict. Sean, what's up? Looking forward to the chat. I'm glad to see you here. Beta Ray Bill. Yeah, we should get Beta Ray Bill at this point with the classic old school look. Case in point, no classic Valkyrie, Moondragon, etc. Yeah, we need a new Valkyrie. I feel like the Defenders are really coming together strong. It's time to get a better version of that classic Valkyrie because I've been using the old Hasbro version and it just doesn't look right compared to all these really cool new figures they've done, and everything's really soft, and I really hopefully want to see a new one. John Kane has advice for everybody. Smash them likes, people. Thank you if you do. Plus, Dragonfly is placed on the Marine Super Cobra attack helicopter. It's definitely a capable tank killer. Yeah. Rocket and Cosmo look awesome. They really do. I'm so excited about those two figures. And I don't know, I've been kind of on most of the MCU phase 4. Now we're heading into phase 5 Hot Toys figures. And I think it really was just because it's kind of meh on most of the movies. But seeing these Guardians after really enjoying the movie, I'm like, yes, sign me up. Where are we getting all these guys? How soon? How long will it take for us to complete the team? Lawson, you're old school Captain Atom fan. I have all the Charlton issues. So what did you think about Watchmen? Did you like that portrayal of those characters? Or were you like, stop messing with my favorites? Because I was really curious about that for people who love those characters back in the day. I want a Marvel Legends Red Skull and Sin 2-pack. I'm kind of curious what new Red Skull version I want because I feel like the latest one they did kind of scratches my itch for Red Skull. Maybe I could do Sin with Crossbones. Chad, yo, what's up, everyone? I feel like I got a little bit too PN news on that one. So, Bill, Janair, yo. Blake, randomly checked Target the other day. I was glad to see there is an exclusive Ant-Man available. Are we talking about the classic one that I really want? He's already hitting stores now? That's not good because I will hound my Targets to find him. Chad Kinsler, hit that like button, y'all. Okay, thank you, fellas. Let's see. Miss Marvel came out when? Years back. Yeah, I guess she's still. Yeah, it's funny because I guess there are not too many costumes nowadays that have bare legs. And I'm just thinking Valkyrie, She Hulk. There we go. That's one. And she just came out in the MCU version. So we got that covered. All right. I was really curious if that was really the case, but now I think we figured out we cracked the code. Daniel, what's going on? How are you? I'm doing good. Happy to be here with all you all. Val does need to get a better version. Hellcat was great. My Hellcat had some really sketchy paint, like the top half of her thighs were one shade of yellow, then her shins were another shade of yellow, and she has like this whole thing of, do I want to fall and knock over everybody else on the stand, or am I going to cooperate, lean next to the Hulk and be fine? So far, my strategy of leaning her against the Hulk pays off. It's worked pretty well, so she hadn't toppled everyone else. Angela from back in the day had bare legs, but today it's a new day. Back in the day, now I got the song stuck in my head. All right, Hulk with the slightly shorter hair. Yeah, we're talking Disney. We're talking since Disney is pushing for different mindsets. Yeah, Marvel Legends needs to make a Sin Eater. I'm curious to see that one too. That would be really fun. You were indifferent about Watchmen because it was kind of Elseworlds. Yeah, absolutely. I love some of those Elseworlds. I feel like DC never really tapped into the whole what if the same way that Marvel did. I mean, Marvel was like, hey, we'll take this multiverse idea since y'all aren't doing anything with it. And now they've done all this great stuff. But I'd love to see DC play around with the what if Superman got killed in Crisis instead of Supergirl. That'd be kind of fun to see what they did that. Blake, I guess Marvel Girl and Tiger are the only females with bare legs. And then I guess we could also include Gwen Stacy as well. So we got a few. There's some options because that Marvel Girl is one of my least favorite recent modern figures. You cannot stand at all. It's just a ridiculous thing to have a figure that can't stand in 2022 or 2023. Uh-huh. Yes. And I can't wait to get him. He's going to be Hank Pym until we see the news on this HasLab for sure. Hi, Banana Water. How you doing? Welcome to the party. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it because I was really wondering if that was the case with everyone's Hellcat because I was reading online and some people had the same issue as I did, but I'm glad that's not the case with you. Robert's Infinite Realms. Okay, so you had the same problem that I did. I wonder if it was just a bad batch that some of us got. Kirby Classic Hulk. I really thought we were going to want to see him when they were showing off that Banner and Hulk 2-pack, but I guess clearly the gray one makes more sense for the first appearance look, but I'm really hoping we do see that soon because, geez, kind of want it. Daniel, I ended up finding the new Yondu figure at another Target instead of my local Target. It's pretty cool. I also found the new Spider-Verse at my Target and took Miles home. I actually finally saw a few of those. I saw the Spider-Man Miles, of course, and then why am I blanking on the other one, the Punk Rocker one? Yeah, I saw those too. But they were really cool looking figures. They had some really nice sculpting, and I was really impressed that they totally did it based off the animation model. Really curious to see how they'll stand up because they look like they would fall quickly. Classic Iron Fist. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that Luke Cage, and I was talking, I think it was to Blake, and we haven't seen the prototype of Luke Cage, and I'm wondering if it's because they want to show the render of Iron Fist, and then bam, surprise, guys, here's a 2-pack, Power Man and Iron Fist. I feel like you can't release those two separately, especially since we're going so hard with these 2-packs as of late. It seems like a really obvious one, and one is essential. That Marvel Girl is a plank, Kelly. So disappointed. It was, I feel like, maybe I should see if I can put those Gwen legs on her because I was really blown because I was like, oh, great. This will be my look for Jean when she's fighting in her old outfit when they're fighting the Imperial Guard right before Dark Phoenix comes back. But that was no go whatsoever. Yeah, that new Joe Fix-It does look good. I just reread the Fantastic Four where the new Fantastic Four came through. So now I kind of want a shirt or jacket off, Joe Fix-It, Gray Hulk, Hannah Dan Catch Ghost Rider because I feel like this is still super overdue. Nick Fury and Abigail Brand. I'm hoping we'll see some Secret Invasion comic book tie-ins because that show is still coming on the Disney Plus slate. So hopefully we'll see that. An updated Adam Warlock is needed. Hot Banana Water, you're correct. I'm kind of was thinking like, how bad was that original Toy Biz? Not Toy Biz because they didn't do him. The Hasbro one, because I feel like that was something that we could have gotten a better job with. Oh man, let's see here. All right, let's check out the figure in question because got a really nice Adam Warlock figure for us, but it's not quite as good. Yeah, this doesn't look great. I was hoping there'd be a version of this, but gosh, oh man, I don't know. That head sculpt, I guess it could work. I mean, take the cape, borrow the Infinite Gauntlet. I wonder if we could use a lot of these parts and just come up with a better version of Adam on our own. Maybe use a blank black body, maybe a Black Panther, since they're going for $7.98 right now on Amazon and Best Buy. Maybe that would actually work. We just transplant the head and maybe the neck piece or repaint it. That may be the best way to go with it. But yeah, I'd love to see a new classic Adam Warlock, especially since now Hasbro's like, hey, you guys don't have enough teams to start. Why don't we give you a new one, Infinity Watch, and we'll give you a new one so you guys can complain about us not completing another team. Yes to that modern Luke Cage. Yeah, but I kind of want Iron Fist, classic Luke Cage or Power Man, and then we can go modern. I still want to get a better version of that white Iron Fist attire because I really still have that, but I hate the body and they just did a terrible job on it. Oh, Lawson, you're absolutely right. A comic book Clea Baron Mordo figure. Yeah, because it's like when you start dipping into sequels and you start having characters show up in the movies, I'm thinking that should make it an obligation where, okay, we've got to get this figure in their comic book look. And I'm sure, and I'm not saying, hey, right when the movie's out, get the comic book version, but I mean, like within 6 or 8 months, I think is sort of fair. So let's see here. Daniel, you got lucky yesterday because I found the Infinity War Thor at a toy shop for only $25. Wow, I didn't realize it was going that hard. But I love that. That's my favorite look for Thor in the MCU. So I'm glad you got that at a good deal. Doesn't matter what company it is. The first one that makes a Hulk with butterfly shoulders gets my money. Now, what butterfly shoulders are you talking about? Because they have some really good ones on this last one that they did. Maybe you wanted to go the full Thunderclap route, but I thought the butterfly shoulders on the Hulks are pretty good that we've gotten. Classic Moon Knight. Are you not liking the one that they've done, Ken? Because I thought that one was pretty cool. Where the figure came out all right. There's no real issue. Has really great accessories. And I thought it looked pretty good. Of course. So that's the problem when they start doing TV shows. When you enter in the search, it takes forever. And you have to search through all that other stuff. There we go. Back when Walgreens was doing exclusives. Yeah. So I thought this version was pretty cool. I mean, it had the silhouetted mass portion, all pure white, none of that weird blue stuff that they do occasionally. And if you wanted, you could switch it out and do that. And I thought this Moon Knight was really solid. And as an added bonus, now I know he didn't have all the accessories and all that good stuff, but you could put him with the rest of the West Coast Avengers. Boy, I still need replacements for basically all of them. I still feel like my Toy Biz Silver Centurion Iron Man is better than the one that we have from Hasbro. And now Mezco has released a Silver Centurion or showed off one. I may be dipping in and grabbing that one. But yeah, I really like this Moon Knight. All right, so let's see here. Blake, yes, we need a Wrecking Crew so bad. They're really starting to climb up on my top 10 because I need them in their Secret Wars attires. I feel like if they put them on that Hercules Thor mold, that will work so much better than those. We're taller and bigger than everybody else on your shelf. And if you don't watch our ankles, we're really going to topple the entire collection. He needs to have 2 head sculpts, one normal and one with the soul stone in the forehead. That would be cool. I wonder if that's something they would try to do with like another pack where it's like, hey, here's him and Pip the Troll. We're going to charge you $50. But I can't hate on Hasbro because this time Drax the Destroyer is clearly bigger, probably more of what a modern Build-A-Figure would cost, and we're getting him for the same $25 that we do with every other figure. So I think the deal is really good. It's a good value for that set, so I won't hate him on that one. Goliath, Tom Foster. Is that Bill Foster? Bill Foster, or is his son Tom? Because I stopped paying attention to their new stuff. If Mafex makes a Hulk, I'm in. I thought they had, but I thought it was a really like it said, let's see. I thought they made a pretty decent one. Actually, you can get it on Amazon. Let's see. How much is Amazon charging? Oh, just a few dollars for it. Not much at all. Yeah, it's a whopping 135, but I think that figure looks really cool. And I don't know, does he have butterfly shoulders? It looks like he does. So maybe he could do all these poses that you're hoping to see. Yep, definitely butterfly shoulders there. And roar back. Go smash some Chitauri. See him Cap, go smash him, got the smirking face. And he's beating down Loki. So not bad. I feel like if you want one, that's a really good one to get. I feel like I saw that for cheaper earlier on some other websites too, maybe Sideshow Collectibles. I do like the Walgreens one. I just wanted with the Crescent Cape. Yeah, I've seen some really cool customs where they actually do it for the MCU version, but that would be really fun to do. That Select Hulk was darn near perfect. Which one? The latest one they did? Because I feel like they've done quite a few of them. Red Hulk, please. I thought they just did one, or was that the composite Hulk with Red Hulk and Green Hulk that I didn't want any parts of? Even though Red Hulk kind of won me over with his portrayal on Earth's Mightiest Heroes, which is the gateway show for me to all these characters I don't really know or care about. I was like, okay, I guess I'll take a Red Hulk figure. My Hulk has to do the thunderclap and a ground pound. I'm with you. I get it. Lawson, that classic Moon Knight was great. Just needs cloth goods cake with a wire. Ultimate HasLab guaranteed to sell. Giant Man with bonus tiers. Goliathless Yellow Jacket. Yeah. All right. Let's talk about HasLabs because we're getting these teases now from the Joe team, and it's so exciting. And I can't wait because it's like, oh, what are we talking about? What are we gonna do? What's coming up? I don't need to know a ton of details. All I need you guys to do is tell me when and where, and I'll be there. Because honestly, that's all I need, and I'm good. So we've seen, let's see, Emily on the marketing team is starting to do some teases and doing some deals. Let's see. Where do I want to start with? Because this is exactly. All right, let's go here. Agent Longfellow summary. You'd be surprised how far frozen fudgy bar can get you on Cobra Island. I bribed my way onto a patrol that got me close enough to record part of a conversation between Cobra Commander and Destro about their latest project. We're definitely going to need something powerful to combat this new threat. Okay, so clearly it has to be a bigger vehicle. Can't be some chump thing. It's got to be a big enough vehicle to smash up some of his tanks. Then the next part. Destro production is proceeding as scheduled. I have revised my initial plans to utilize our newly unearthed energy source to power the Sentries. Unfortunately for our mole rats, the dark energon crystals have proven unstable. The shift to more conventional Mars Industries engines will not cause any significant deployment delays. Cobra Commander, excellent. When, Destro? When will my His fleet be ready to put an end to GI Joe forever? I want to see them unintelligible beneath the unintelligible until they unintelligible. Destro, patience, my dear commander. We've begun field testing already. I anticipate further updates in the coming months from our partners at HasLab with a full complement ready for our deployment in the fall. Then GI Joe will be overwhelmed by my superior technology, and nothing will stop us. I don't know about you guys, but I so read that in the voices of them. Blake, thank you so much. Here's a Marvel Legends or me. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much. I'm going to go try to track down this Ant-Man and go see what's what. But yeah, this tease really has all kinds of things, and there's some amazing sleuths on his tank, and they broke the entire thing down. They're like, well, listen, the code word for Longfellow kind of gives you a hint that maybe they're talking about the writer, and one of the books on Longfellow, his autobiography, actually talks about snow. So it's like, well, wait a second. If you're going to do that, then what are we talking about here? So let me see if I can pull this up real fast because I thought this was amazing detective work. And let's see. There we go. So here's the this oh gosh, of course. Stop it. All right. Well, of course, we're not going to see that because we don't need to pay for that. But here you go. Here's the bio on Wadsworth Longfellow, conveniently codenamed for our GI Joe, who's behind the scenes doing this thing. And of course, when you think about GI Joes undercover doing their thing in the different elements, you'd think maybe if it's not a snow related Joe, it could be somebody who was also right in the mix dealing with cobras in the snow when we first met him. And of course, you know who I'm talking about, the one and only CK or QK, if you don't mind the initials, the one and only Quick Kick. So yeah, I'm wondering if then we're going to see him. And when he first met Alpine and Bazooka, they were hanging out fighting Major Blood in the snow. And one of the major vehicles that happened to be during that set was the one and only GI Joe Snowcat. And that's absolutely one of my all-time favorite Joe vehicles. It was really cool. And every time it snowed, I didn't even need snow, but snow was definitely something that made me excited to pull that bad boy up in action because it was such a great vehicle. They did an amazing job with all the details on it, and it's just such a great vehicle. You can pad a bunch of Joes in there. It's got those 2 pegs on the sides. They have to just wash the missile skis. 2 can fit inside, 2 can be in the back, so you can pack a bunch of Joes. And for me, that's absolutely what I need for any Joe vehicle, especially in the 6-inch scale, because I want to see them be able to use all kinds of technology and pack a bunch of Joes, bunch of Cobras on all these vehicles. I know we got the Trouble Bubble coming with the Televipers, and of course, because they included 3 extra head sculpts, I'm going to have to get 3, but that's a great vehicle for Cobras. And maybe if I strike the lottery, make it big, I'm going to get a bunch of them so I can reenact the opening scene from GI Joe, the movie, which was always amazing. Let's see what you guys are talking about here in the chats about our potential HasLab from Cobra, or from Hasbro, not Cobra. Lawson, Snowcat with Frostbite, perhaps. So that's what I'm thinking, hoping we see. I still holding out some hope that they can figure out a way to get that Dragonfly out to us just via the Pulse, because I feel like they're doing that with the Star Wars collection. They're doing HasLabs, but they're also getting out vehicles like that NS Starfighter for the Mandalorian. Maybe we could do the same with the Dragonfly, just make it a little bit longer. I feel like the only real obstacles for it are just the propeller blades, which they could pack in a box without any issues. I feel like that could work. And the Snowcat is absolutely one of the best Joe vehicles. I feel like they had really hit their stride with great vehicles by the time the 1985 series hit, the 86 one with the Havoc and Cross Country, Tomahawk with Lift Ticket and Lifeline if you want to do that. So yeah, I'm really curious though, because I feel like there's lots of options they could go with for a Snowcat. So with the last one, we got 4 figures. We got the driver, the engineer, the weapons tech. Then we got the Mickey Mouse logo Cobra Commander. I'm thinking for sure we need to get Frostbite if that is indeed the case. We get him. I'm thinking maybe Iceberg. He would make for another logical choice for Snow Joe. Maybe even Blizzard, because Blizzard looked really cool as well. But then there's also the thought of, well, why don't they just throw in some Joes in their snow gear? We know we're getting Snow Job coming, and he's already our snow one. Maybe put Gung Ho with a jacket, kind of a nod to the cartoon, with no hat, or Shipwreck with his sailor winter gear. That's another option they could go with as well. Roberts, Bazooka and Quick Kick linked to Fudgy Bars, as that was a commercial QK was filming a commercial for. I really feel like that's a, hey, pay attention. But of course, they hitched a ride on the Hiss Tank. So maybe it's just a red herring and it's just kind of out there. But then we got the leak that no one saw coming, even though they had teased it and shown it to us already. But it was really cool to see this. The Arctic Viper and T1 Toy, posted this. We'll make sure to give them credit. This Artic BAT looks insane. There's like a whole fresh new paint job on it. Some of us, we saw it with the teases for the snow job pictures where it's like, oh, I think there's a snow bat back there. This is really cool because they've given it a new head sculpt and it looks more sinister. And I always liked the creepy look of the bats, but this is even better. It's got a chainsaw attachment, which is nuts. It's got a sniper rifle as well. And this Arctic color scheme looks so great. And it's, I thought the Crimson Bat was okay, but this one really looks sharp. I mean, it is like, whoa, okay, I see what you guys are doing here, and I like it. I'm kind of thinking, well, if you did this, then maybe I get a few more of these bat variations, especially when they're kind of coming hard like this. That's really cool. So let's see here. What are we all saying here? Lawson, I'd love to see them release some vamps with arm accessories and extra weapons to be mounted. I feel like the vamp is something where they could absolutely take a few shell pieces and give us the Stinger or the Vamp 2 and use them as tiers, because I feel like that's an easy HasLab form where they could make something where people are going, I don't want just one. I don't need just one. I need all three different versions of this thing so I can make it work. Bazooka got one of QK in episode 2, and we know we've got a Bazooka coming, and maybe Bazooka will be out around the time this reveal comes. June 1st is, I assume and hope, that's a Thursday, so that might not be when Hasbro kicks off its Yojo June. I'd love to. Last year they did all kinds of reveals basically every day. Of course, let's hear from Joe Self right now. Snowcat would be awesome as a HasLab, but I think the Vamp is more iconic. Dragonfly would be incredibly huge. However, I think the Dreadnoks will own 2024 with the Thunder Machine and some Nock tiers. I hope by 2024, gosh, it's really not that far away. But see, if we get Dreadnought tiers, then I'm going to have to wait till 2025. We know we're getting Torch, and we're getting Ripper, or we're getting Buzzer, and we're getting Ripper. No news on Torch, and I don't want to hold out that much longer to get the original 3. I still need Xandar, Road Pig. There are a bunch of them. But yeah, I wouldn't be upset about getting the Thunder Machine with Thrasher either. Dragonfly, let's see here. Lawson, yeah, I'm hoping so. That could be cool. And Jay, I'd love to see more smaller vehicles and smaller playsets. There's so much. There's somebody that did this amazing Zartan speeder, and I just think it's incredible how well it looks. And I'm like, do I want to buy it from this guy who did a 3D print, or hold out hope and wait for Hasbro to get around to it? Because I think they are kind of missing out on doing smaller vehicles. We're seeing the trouble bubble coming, but GI Joe and Star Wars, I think for so many of us, are the lines where the vehicles were so heavily associated just as much as the characters, and they were just as iconic. You think of Star Wars, you think of the Falcon, the X-Wing, the TIE fighters, the snow speeders, land speeders, Slave One, not whatever the heck they're calling it now, but I think those are really cool things that we're getting from these guys, and I'd love to see Hasbro start going, all right, here's your Vamp, here's your Snowcat, here's your Armadillo. There's so much cool Joe vehicles and Cobra vehicles. I mean, I'd love to see so many of them. We do need a classic Duke. Tell me you tapped out after Serpentor prices. I know that is the kind of thing where it's like, if that was $90, how's everything else going to be? But I'm hoping that they see that, hey, there's a real audience for this. Let's keep these vehicles rolling. We do need a classic Scarlet for sure. I'm surprised we haven't seen her in the retro line just yet. Walmart has put up their retro versions of Storm Shadow and Zartan again. So they are back, or at least they were back the other day on the site. But Storm Shadow got a special bonus. Hey, you guys want this figure, so we're going to charge you a little bit more. That was kind of lame. It's like, come on, guys. Let's not do that to us. Let's see if they're still available on Walmart.com. Actually, they are. So if you're so inclined and interested, you could actually get Storm Shadow right now. Add to cart, put that bad boy in there, and he looks pretty cool. I mean, it is the vintage classic one with those wraps around his arm. And you're a GI Joe issue 21 fan like me, it was so amazing, like a crazy reveal seeing him and Snake Eyes have the exact same tattoo. So I'm curious. I'm glad to see they're there for people who want them. I am trying to convince myself I don't need this cartoon accurate Zartan. I don't care if he's got the blue on there. It's like, darn it, I think you guys may have sold me on another one, and I'm kind of upset about it, but he looks really great. And I'm a sucker for that cartoon look. And he looks really great with the blue showing up there, showing off all his color. I mean, that's amazing there. And he's losing some of the accessories that we've seen from the other ones. So maybe I won't feel so bad about ditching or using my color change version still. I still have the original one with the monkey paw. A lot of stuff going on with Zartan. So I don't know. Do I need 3? Probably. Let's see here. Vamp is more iconic, but I don't think that would warrant HasLab unless you get multiples or a lot of extra stuff. I would love for the Vamp to be a regular release in or HasLab or Hasbro Pulse option where you don't have to fund it with a crowdfunder. I would love that. I don't know how much I would be willing to pay for it, but I'd buy it because Clutch is one of my original favorite Joes. Really thought he was cool. Checkpoint Alpha, Mountain Howitzer, Biovac, Outpost Defender, Cobra Bunker, Snake Armor. Yeah. I need to see if I can find this guy who did the snake armor. Actually, I think I should have it here. But somebody actually made a 3D printout of the Cobra snake from the Revenge of Cobra. And that thing looked crazy. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it was like, whoa, what are y'all doing here? Let's see if I can find this again because it was really, really great. Of course, now, because I decided to talk about it, it's going to take me forever to find it. Oh, here we go. It's from those GI Joe figures that we've seen, or the Toy Story figures. Here we go. Bam. And that's crazy. I mean, I know you guys have watched Revenge of Cobra so often, but I was so impressed with this. And you can see now the scale. That looks crazy. I would so pay to get 2 or 3 of them. That'd be amazing. 000. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Send another comment so I can make sure that I answer that with post haste priority. A classified Thunder Machine would be awesome. You know who the tiers have to be. We have to get Zorana in her blonde wig while she's doping out Falcon. And it was only a camera. Yeah, so I'd love to see that. Arctic BAT looks dope. Yeah, I'm kind of a sucker more for snow themed figures than I am other elements. So Jungle's like, whatever. Night Force, but you give me a bunch of cool snow themed characters, I'm all on it. So yeah, I would love to see that. GI Joe, a real American hero. Oh, you asked, James. So what do I think about Super 7 Joes? I just got Series 2. Please tell me. Please talk me off the ledge because I was so on board. I was like, okay, I got this chance where I could review some figures off of Entertainment Earth, and I was really up in the air. Do I go Silverhawks? Do I do GI Joe? And I decided, well, let's go Silverhawks since I already have a really great GI Joe collection. Maybe I don't need to get into another one. But of course, for me, I needed one figure to look great. And that's my guy, Flint. And I don't know if he's great. So Nick on the Fush posted his Series 2 figures, and I'm not loving what I'm seeing with Lady J and Flint's, especially their necks. If you note, they've got this yellowed look to their necks, which is weird because this is the great version, the prototype, and this is what that Duke looks like. But Flint has this weird, waggy skin tone that doesn't match his neck, doesn't really match his arms. Same deal with Lady J. It's such a disappointment because I was really excited for these figures, especially after seeing how great that first series looked. Snake Eyes looked amazing with his cartoon colors. Cobra Commander looked good. Not going to army build, but the Bat looked great. And Duke really looked awesome as well. And I was like, great. I'm so in for this line because I love the cartoon. I love the regular action figures. There's room on my shelves for both takes. But, I mean, they're botching my favorite Joe, Flint. I got some issues with it. I mean, I need them to do better. Maybe this is going to be one of those situations where the first batch just looks bad, but whew, not really happy with it. Uncarter Reviews, this is their last chance. USS flag or bust. Gosh, I'm still salty about not getting the flag from back in the day. Jay, I'll get a few, but not more than a few of the Artic BAT. As cool as it is, I want multiples of the snow serpents. Yes. And that's coming too. So that's another indicator that maybe this HasLab is going to be Arctic themed with the snowcat, because we've got those snow serpents down the pipeline. I'm figuring we'll see that revealed in prototype or some sort of form come Yojo June. We've got this Artic BAT. We've got Snow Job coming later this year, a big Joe Snow themed vehicle to put against your HISS tanks, because the HISS tanks can work in any environment. I don't know, man. I think that would work. Then maybe some extra guns mount, or maybe some LED headlights for the vamp. Yep. Robert, that's 4 bat repaints in a year. Surprised we've not seen Alley Vipers repainted. There's plenty of variations in the line. There are. They're totally up for variant inclusion as well, because the Alley Vipers have really cool variants. I love the orange and blue the most, but there's some other really cool ones like that yellow and black that I wouldn't be upset to get either. Joseph, you could lease a classified USS Flag for just $5.99 a month for 36 months. I think that would be the only way they could get that funded. Using vamps as tiers would drive a HasLab for sure. I think with some removable parts, I think that makes a lot of sense and something that they could do without any issue or problem. Sergeant Slaughter needs his triple T tank. So yeah, we've seen a few of the Mad Marauders with Bazooka. Spirit is one of those. Low Light's coming, so I assume we're going to see that variation of him as well. So with him, Sergeant Slaughter, maybe San Diego Comic-Con exclusive of the Renegades. That would be a fun and easy way to get those 3 characters out there too. Classic Duke and Classic Scarlet. They seem like the obvious candidates for the next wave of retro figures. Duke and Scarlet, the figures that, while they were still trying to figure out what the heck they were going to do with this classified series line, they kind of teched them out a little bit, but the vintage classic looks for them would be really great to see. Snake Eyes with a visor and 2 katana swords. I wouldn't mind seeing that in the Super 7, assuming they get the colors right. Modular Wolverine with a swappable turret to make it a Mauler. I think the transition piece for the Wolverine is actually the bridge layer, or as Tobu would say, the bridge layer, because I think the Wolverine is just a standard flat foundation, and then you could put some 2 pegs in there to attach the bridge elements, and then the other connection piece to actually create the bridge. But I think that's where they can make a 2-in-1 HasLab. And of course, suckers like me would be like, oh, I've got to get the Wolverine / bridge layer so I can have both of them on my shelf. And I'd absolutely do that. And I feel like that's something that doesn't seem like it'd be too hard of a stretch for Hasbro's HasLab engineering team to make happen and make it to reality. I really want a Dusty figure with cloth goods bandana on around the helmet instead of the rubber one. Yeah, it didn't look great. So I'm hoping that it's funny, because I looked at the upcoming Tiger Force and he has the paint job on the face that I wanted with the regular classified series look. So I'm a little bit upset about that. Jericho Savage, what up? Falcon and Cover Girl really were the most disappointing since the first version release of classified Gung Ho. They ugly. What's also funny is how literally every head sculpt choice that I've seen on Falcon looks better than the one that Hasbro gave us. People are using the Renew Your Vows Peter Parker one, seen one with a Punisher head sculpt. Then there was one with Moff Rampart from Bad Batch. He looked great too. It's like every option except for what we got is so much better. The Death Show is great. Flynn is okay to me. I really just wish the skin tone was better and he looked like the prototype, because the prototype looked really amazing. And I was like, I'm so going in on this line as soon as I see what Flint looks like. Now I'm kind of like, maybe not. That's Super 7. Sorry, just hate the inconsistency they do. I wish that weren't the case, because I know a lot of people were going, yeah, I don't know about Super 7. And I saw that Andre the Giant was like, he was crummy and terrible. And they were like, we're not even going to release this Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows because they don't match our standards. And I was like, wow, you guys have standards on your figures? Because so many of them, it's like, they don't know what the heck they're doing. And it's just so inconsistent. Hasbro should let Super 7 do O-ring figures. Yeah, maybe. Anyone else order the Mezco? Destro is my first Mezco, and I'm stoked for him. He's been my favorite character since '83. The pictures I've seen of the Mezco Destro look really good, and I really don't want to go down that rabbit hole of getting the Mezco versions of Joe's, but he really looks solid. Did you pick up the ramen racer? Can't wait to put my Joe's in it. And which Joe's would you use for it? Not yet, but that's kind of the problem I'm having at this time of year because there's so much. And I really wish the companies would just go, all right, let's release our crowdfunding schedule because there's that uncertainty because we know HasLab Giant Man is coming, or HasLab Giant Man is coming at some point. Yojo June is going to tease the HasLab GI Joe, which I assume would be in like that July, August window. Then at San Diego Comic-Con, we know the Star Wars team is going to release some HasLab, and all indications are it's going to be the Ghost from the Star Wars Rebels. It's like back to back to back HasLabs, and it's so weird because it's like, well, how are we supposed to see all this stuff if we can't, it's like we got to try to figure out and balance out how we're going to pay for this. Then not to mention all these pre-orders that are dropping. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but so many of these Beyond Earth's Mightiest Avengers on Marvel Legends are slated to drop on August 2nd. So it's a lot happening. And I just wish they could kind of time this stuff a little bit better, especially for collectors who collect multiple lines and not just the one they do. Snowcat would be amazing, followed by Cobra Wolf. The Cobra Wolf was such a great vehicle for Cobra, and that was one of those later era ones where it's like, man, you guys still are cranking out amazing looking vehicles. Buff 88, I am doing great. I'm going to fire my marketing team, but I'm doing great. I picked up Duke with a Tiger Force bike. Absolutely love it, and the fact you can display it with or without the Gatling gun is perfect. Yeah, I think that's a really cool one. I just wanted to have one motorcycle, and that's for me. I had to get the Ram cycle, but I really do like it. I think that's a great vehicle, and I wish we would see a little bit more of that from Hasbro. I ordered the Mezco Destro. It's not coming yet. It looks great in the reviews I've seen so far. Yeah, I'm with you. Every person I know who, or every person I've seen who has it is raving. Can't get enough of the figure. So yeah. Robert says Wolverine and Lynx, not most popular, but easy to do as the original line did it. Yeah, I mean, I think there's no issue with Hasbro doing smart reuse on things because as long as it works and it's not like, why did you use this when there's 4 other things that would have made it look better? I'm fine and happy with it. Focusing on the Joes, cutting down on a lot of other stuff. This hobby is getting too expensive. That's the tricky part because I feel like the Marvel Legends team is kind of like, wait, we can still make awesome figures. So I've already got the GI Joe Classified series. I'm still really interested in the Generation 1 Transformers from that team, then the Star Wars figures. It's like, geez, where do we go? And then when they're doing, all of these crowdfunding projects, it's so hard because it's like, oh man, that's a grail item I really want. I'm kind of going, well, I think sight unseen, but knowing they're going to come, I need to set aside some from the Hasbro Marvel Legend one. I need to set aside some from the Classified series. And I'm really wondering if that hurt the WWE one. In addition to people not caring about Nitro, because for years WWE said Nitro sucks, Nitro's bad. I'm wondering if people were like, well, that's really great. You guys have this Nitro set coming, but I want to see what Marvel Legends is going to do. I want to see what's coming for GI Joe Classified series. I want to see what really affordable and thus easy for me to pick up Transformers HasLab is available. So I don't know about these deals. The Studio Series Prime. No, I haven't seen. I'll have to check it out. Honestly, people, despite all the nitpicking, etc., it's a good time to be alive. It's always a good time to be alive. If you're a figure collector, crazy how many cool things there are these days. There are, and I'm still waiting for like the Massive Mask relaunch, the Spiral Zone relaunch, and just Visionaries, Bionic 6, all those lines that I wish I could get some figures for from back in the day. All I got was a purple cartoon colored Snake Eyes with Timberwolf and Jetpack from Super 7. I saw it at my local comic book store. Shout out to Third Eye Comics. And I was like, oh man, this looks amazing. Timber looks so cool. And I was like, hold off. But Amazon is starting to put them up for a little bit cheaper. So they're under like $10 cheaper. So that's an option for everybody who's kind of wondering about it. Brick and Tire. I didn't get the Mezco Destro, but I did go in on the Mezco Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow. Are you going to get the Roadblock that's been teased as well? Well, Austin, yeah, that's my point. You would honestly buy more figures if I knew in advance when, because then I could put aside money. There was a period of time where Hasbro Pulse was like, your pre-order is now up. Oh, 2 more days later, the other pre-order with 5 figures is also coming up. And get your account ready by Friday. It's like, okay, we need to slow these things down. And I really wish they could do a better job of sticking to a schedule, because I think a lot of us would be able to go, okay, cool. I know this is coming in September and I know this is coming in December. So I'll save my money for them at that point. I got the Mezco, Destro, Fantastic Four, and Dr. Doom are on the way. Those figures look so good. I can't wait to hear what you think about those, because the Dr. Doom, the Fantastic Four, that new Spider-Man, the better improved Wolverine really has me paying a little bit more attention to what Mezco is doing over there. And that Superman figure, whew, looks really great too. Robert, I'm leaning into independent companies, but Marvel and Joe and WWE will always have my attention at least. Yeah. I know there's so many figures that I want from different companies, from different brands, different lines. I'm like, ugh. That's why when something like Super 7 goes, hey, we got some cartoon Joes over here, it's like, I'm really committed to my classified series. 80s kid from the 90s. Can we see a new Marvel Legends Bucky? I don't see why not. I'm curious if they're going to wait another year or so, since we have the Bucky Cap redo coming out now. Jake Winter, man, stop playing. If someone re-releases Bionic 6, I'm getting the whole set in the Gorilla. Yes, thank you. I'm glad somebody else out there is with me on the Bionic 6. Bionic 6. Man, they were so fun. I might go for the Roadblock as much as I like the Heavy Artillery Classified figure. I wasn't a fan of the minigun. He needs Mod Deuce. Yeah, and I'm going to go find a big hill to put him on top and next to Duke when we get a classified one, and then get one of those small Rattlers that I can just fly off in the distance as they're crashing and shooting it down, like GI Joe issue 22 with General Flag's funeral. Okay, we're not the only ones here. Jay Winter. James Green. Yes, Bionic 6. Let's go. I feel like that'd be an easy license. I mean, we need cops too. And there's so many of those cool. I mean, we got spoiled back in the days in the 80s where every half hour there was another awesome cartoon. Because now it feels like, where are the good cartoons? Oh, let me go pull them out of my DVD shelf. Kelly Cox, I don't think we're seeing the Legends HasLab until more people forget the last one. Well, they've been teasing it already. I mean, we know it's going to be Avengers theme, and they've been real quiet this month. I guess they're just doing these 2-packs and stuff they've already teased, but they've kind of exhausted all the stuff they previewed. So I've got to assume that maybe later this month, Transformers has a live stream next week. Maybe the next week we see a Marvel one. I assume we're not going to see GI Joe until June. Lefty Two Lions BK, you know about the Bionic 6 too. And Lawson, model accurate Bionic 6. Yes. And Galaxy Rangers. Yes. Man, see, you guys know about what I'm talking about here. Inhumanoids, the evil that lies within. I want a modern Inhumanoids line. Yes. But see, what scale will we need those? Because we got to have the monsters towering over the humans. So I'm kind of curious what we would do with that. What about Visionaries? Insector. I would love Bionic 6 figures, but not from Super 7. Yeah. They would be the ones to get it. And they'd be like, oh gosh, now no one looks the same size and scale, and their colors are all off. Marvel Legends Bleeding Edge Iron Man, Marvel Now, Cap and Iron Man. James Green, man, Cops, I forgot about those. Cops was so amazing. And their designs on those characters, both the Cops and the Crooks, were outstanding. I love all that work they put in those deals. Jay Winter, brother, I have a picture of 6-year-old Jay Winter with the entire first wave of Silverhawks. Man, my parents love me. Laughing out loud. Cartoons were just fantastic in the 80s. They were so good. It was like every half hour, just, man, yo, we got another great one. Rodney, what's going on? I am good, sir. Galaxy Rangers too. I never got a chance to get those. Yes, with Goose. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff. fighting crime in a future time. Yeah. The cops designs were off the chain. I still have some of them. They're totally botched. I went to this antique toy store basically that has every figure line you can think of. And I really need to just go back with money now that I know what's there so I can get all the stuff. They had Rambo figures. It's like, whoa, what are we doing? Anybody remember the Rambo cartoon? Loved Galaxy Rangers. Need me a Shane Gooseman. Yeah, Gooseman was cool. Anybody out there remember Spiral Zone? Is it just me holding a torch for that? Love that design. I feel like that's something that a company that maybe Mezco, because it's not a lot of characters, but yeah. And I'm still kind of figuring out if I need to get these Centurion figures because I want those, and I still have my old broken down versions with no parts or anything to them now. Lawson, thank you. I'm glad to hear it. Matt, what's up? I am glad you're here. Welcome to the party. We're reminiscing on old school stuff. Noodles, Mask, yeah, Mask. That is the one license that I don't know how they could make it work because so much of my collection now 6-inch scale, but Mask I feel like is the one that I would be okay with highly articulated 3.75 inch or maybe a little bit smaller figures. I would think with the sculpting that we're seeing from Hasbro with the vintage collection, even though those figures are way overpriced to me, I think those would work for Mask because we got to have the Mask, Matt Tracker, Brad, Dusty, the whole gang, Gloria. I mean, just Miles Mayhem, all those. We could get some really cool figures, and then we get pretty accurate scale versions of those figures too. I would so pay all the money to get a Mask with great sculpting and that conversion. I thought that was such a great idea for a toy line, and I need a new updated version of them too. John, Power Lords. Wow, taking me back with it. Rom and Black Star. Yes, those would be great too. And Brave Star. Yes. We came up in the great era, cartoons, toys, etc. I know it's funny because it's like all the retro stuff that we want new updated versions are the stuff we watched back in the day. And now we're starting to get them. And it's like, this is so incredible. Lefty Two Lines, BK. Yes, Galaxy Rangers. I love the theme song. No guts, no glory. So take a stand. Yes. Also, who remembers Starcom US Space Force? I do remember that. Those ships and figs were dope. And I kind of need a better version of Robotech too. Speaking of long Space Force soap operas, that would be great. Oh, that Matt Tracker from the anniversary Joe's was the worst tease as nothing came out of it. I was so excited when they put up that Matt Tracker. I was like, yes, bring them on. I want all the Mask Squad as a sub, much better than Battle Force 2000 version of them. But just one and done. It was terrible. Lost in Wallace. I actually liked Exo Squad. Yes. Jace, what's up, brother? Co-host of Lyle's Movie Files with me. What about a Spiral Zone line? Yes, I have been ringing the bell big time. Lots of us here have been saying Spiral Zone would be awesome, and those character designs in 6-inch scale, maybe a 7-inch scale, that would be great. I feel like maybe that's something McFarlane Toys would latch onto if he thought there was enough of an audience for it, because he would make the infected Spiral Zone fungus on those characters really look creepy and nasty. I need a new Heroic Age Iron Man. Yeah, that would be great too. I remember Spiral Zone and KB Toys. RIP all around Spiral Zone and KB Toys. They were on sale. I got all of them from that store trip down memory lane. Wow, that was a really good haul you had. Because man, Jace in the Wheeled Warriors, another epic theme song. And that's another one that would be really fun to see with better articulation, better vehicles now. Whew. Kelly Cox, the cartoons that were nothing but toy ads beginning in. They were, and it still works on me because I'll watch something like Guardians Volume 3 and it's like, oh, I need to get toys of all of these characters. And it's just, I'm so hardwired that way where it's like, that was cool. Now I need figures of it. Like I would totally buy John Wick Chapter 4 figures if somebody were to do them. Rodney, Exo Squad was surprisingly good. I feel like that was the case with so many of our shows because I watch some of these cartoons now and I'm like, man, y'all just don't even know. Y'all are missing out on great stuff. Austin, when I was at the Kubert School, very cool. I did comic pages of Galaxy Rangers, Mighty Max, and Bionic 6 as sequential art assignments. I would love to see them. Are you having them? Do you have any of those on your Instagram? That'd be really fun to see. But yeah, really cool stuff. Jace, I wonder if Robotech will get a line if their movie ever comes out. I don't even need a movie to come out. I feel like the nostalgia is so hard and so heavy with so many of these lines that they don't even need it, because us collectors who grew up watching that show would buy any high quality version of Robotech they would put out for us. Jay Winter, not the most popular one, but I had a bunch of James Bond Jr. toys. Absolutely. Yeah. I was so salty on that show back in the day, but I think that would be fun. I would love to see a company do 6-inch James Bond movie lines like Hasbro's doing with the Raiders of the Ark, the Indiana Jones figures. I think if somebody did that, there's a huge untapped market for that. Cool. Let me know when you do. I want to see those. Noodles, the kids' backyards and play areas kids had in the GI Joe commercials were saying, yeah, because I was like, how do y'all have all that space? I mean, man, how y'all making all those explosions? James, what about SWAT Cats? Great cartoon that needs figures. I didn't watch Gargoyles, but I love the look of these NECA toy figures of them. They look really cool, and I just need to set up like 8 hours to binge on Disney Plus since the whole thing's up there. Lots of my art up on Twitter lately. Cool. Put on your handle so everybody can check it out for us, Lawson. But yeah. So we also had another reveal today, and this was a tease that it kind of started and we kind of knew it was coming eventually. But Storm Collectibles, in their non-paying attention to any license they do, did just show the Shiva from Mortal Kombat. And Shiva looks really great using that same technology they've done with Goro and Kentaro already. Minotaur with the arms really looks great. I think they knocked her figure out. I'm kind of still going, I need a few more of my classic characters. Tomorrow, Liu Kang is arriving here, and I'm really excited about pulling him out and making use of that dragon for fatalities. But there are a few more characters for Mortal Kombat I kind of want to see, as opposed to someone like Shiva. Still need a Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Jax. I need a few more of these regular Joes here. I want to see some more of those. You guys collecting Storm Collectibles, because I feel like they're all over the map with their figure fighter lines that they want to focus on. One week is Mortal Kombat, the next one is Street Fighter. Now we're seeing Tekken, a new variant of Paul Phoenix. Lots of stuff coming up there. Roberts, I grab a Sean Connery James Bond figure in under 2 seconds. I feel like I would buy every version of him. Timothy Dalton, George Lazenby, Pierce Brosnan, my favorite one, just because I really wanted to see him as James Bond. And then when he came, it was like, this is amazing. Roger Moore, Jaws. That line would go so far. A Marvel Legends, Jessica Jones, and Wasp. I feel like those should be coming eventually. Kelly, Samurai Jack figures, please. Shiva got that toe up in the photo. Clearly this is the result of not having Hasbro work on this figure, because yes, Shiva is just no problems with her dental floss. She's working it. In Beltran, do I remember Street Sharks, Stone Protectors, and Mummies Alive? I think those were kind of around the time when I wasn't so interested in the cartoons, and then I felt like everything was just trying to be Turtles, where it's like, well, here's our take on cool urban animals. So that's what happened with them. Uncarded reviews, I want all the Storm Collectibles. I need them to finish off at least one game of Street Fighter, because they're going all over, and I just need them to do Dawson, Balrock, or Blanca. There are a few more left. It's like, come on, guys, stay focused, stay on target. Let's get it knocked out. SWAT Cast was a show that was straight up fire and got done dirty by Hanna-Barbera. They needed a toy line, especially for the Turbo Cat Jet. Is that playing somewhere that I could rewatch it with new eyes and check it out and see if I really missed out and start clamoring for those figures too? Thought Mummies Alive was underrated, had issues with cool ideas. Ditto for Mummies Alive. If you know what streaming platform it's on, let me know. I'm happy to check it out. James Green, I still have my Samurai Jack. Somebody needs to get that and make those figures. There are lots of great lines that could use new figures, and I feel like we're just kind of missing out because there's so much focus on the big guns. So I was trying to see if there was anything else, but there was not. All right, so that's what's going on. Which of these HasLabs are you guys most interested in? We know we're getting Star Wars 1, a GI Joe Transformers, Star Wars, Marvel Legends. Which of those are the ones that have your interest the most? Because I feel like a lot of you all have been saying, I'm supporting these smaller companies. I'm supporting Ramen Toys. I want that Ramen Racer. And I don't really care about HasLab and what they're doing. Their prices are too much. Because I feel like they're starting to turn around with better figures and better stuff that I want. So really love to see that. In Beltran, I like to get Afro Samurai figures. The anime was fire. That would, I don't know who would do that line, because I would love to see those figures. I think they would look really cool. I'm more interested with the Marvel Legends, Transformers, GI Joe Classified lines, and now with Star Wars. 80s kid from the 90s. Yeah, I mean, they could do some cool stuff. I'm curious to see which one everybody else is looking forward to. Thank you, James. Jack was one of the best cartoons ever. I see, yeah. It'll be fun to see. Classified is the one for me. Now, see, that's really interesting. I'm curious, this really small survey here, what comes out on top. Lawson, Marvel Legends, GI Joe Classified, Boss Figures Studio stuff, and Mythic Legends for me, or Legions for me. Yeah, I feel like there's so much competition now, and you know they're going to start coming back hard with all these Comic-Con exclusives. So then you have that thing of, well, I really want this HasLab, or I really want this crowdfunding project, but I really have to get this San Diego Comic-Con exclusive too. I'm really worried to see how that's going to play out with this stuff. I buy Mezco when they look good. Rick and Tired, GI Joe is really the only Hasbro line I collect. I feel like Marvel Legends burned so many collectors that a lot of people who were getting them have kind of shied away reading the comments from the posts and the videos. It seems like a lot of you all are kind of lapsed and now kind of getting your curiosity piqued a little bit more, like, oh, okay, I see what you guys are doing. That's pretty good. I think that Thor and Destroyer set really put in a lot of goodwill, especially if you got it for $52.99, like Hasbro charged for a second. Modern Thor update. Yeah, we should get him too. I feel like he's on the horizon. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. And I can't wait to talk about all this stuff that's coming up around the horizon. Hopefully see another Hot Toys Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 figure and all this cool stuff from GI Joe as we count down to Yojo June, seeing what's coming new from the WWE squad, all that good stuff. Lots of new figures, and Hasbro's really done a great job on the Marvel Legends front. So we're going to see a new slate of figures coming up later in the year, but it's a good time to be collecting action figures, and it's a good time to be hanging out with all of you all. So thank you as always for kicking it with me on a Thursday. I'll be back here next week. We'll do it all over again. Thank you so much for watching. As always, this episode of Loud's Figure Files has been filed.